Hello everyone, I'm Nizzahon here for the Aether Hub doing another Amonkhet draft. And we'll go ahead and jump in the queue and I will see you when it fires. Okay, well we got Plague Belcher, which is a pretty decent first pick. It can either just be a 3 mana 3/2 with Menace and a little bit of zombie upside, and it can sometimes be a 3 mana 5/4 with Menace, a little bit of zombie upside. I think it's probably just the best card in this pack. Naga Vitalist is solid. Nest of Scarabs can be a fun build around, but I think we probably just want Plague Belcher. Cropmate also solid, but again, I think we just want Plague Belcher. Yep, that's what we will go ahead and take. Okay, well there's a Bounty of Luxa, which is a super good card. It is gold, but it is incredibly powerful. But we could think about it. As powerful as it is, there's also a Naga Vitalist, who is pretty solid. We saw one already. The blue-green gold card's pretty good too. The black in this pack, I mean, Pitiless Vizier is good, especially if you get there on cycling. But I still think Naga Vitalist is probably better. But I do think this is the strongest card in the pack. However, it does require that we pay gold mana for it, so... well, 2 colors is what I mean. So I think I'm just going to take the Vitalist here. Okay. Here we have a Wasteland Scorpion, which is solid. Another Pitiless Vizier, should we end up cycling. Colossopede is fine. Grasping Dunes is actually a nice little land if you can pick one up at a reasonable time. I think I'm just going to take a Wasteland Scorpion here. The green in this pack isn't great. I mean, I could take Pitiless Vizier, I guess, and we could move into a cycling deck. Yeah, maybe that's just what I should do. I think that seems a little better than the Scorpion. Of course, the Scorpion has cycling, but we'll take the Vizier. Okay, don't like Approach of the Second Sun at all. Cartouche of Knowledge is a solid blue card. We got Hooded Brawler, which is a pretty good green card. But I think Quarry Hauler is probably just better. There's also a decent chance we end up with a bunch of -1/-1 counters in this color pair, and I like Quarry Hauler in general. Top Crop Elite, also pretty good. Okay. Our colors both are basically gone in this pack. Could take Canyon Slough, if that's how you pronounce that. That is cycling, and it can help us fix, and if we want to end up in a different color or whatever. Because our other options aren't super exciting. Festering Mummy is not. Supply Caravan is solid, but I think I'll go ahead and take the dual land here. Okay. Watchful Naga is okay. Unwavering Initiate's pretty good. I think we probably just take a Doomed Dissenter, though. It works pretty well with Plague Belcher. If you, on turn 3, put the counters on this, then you have a 5/4 with Menace and a 2/2 zombie as well. Supernatural Stamina is a pretty good trick. These 2 red cards are both pretty playable, but so are these 2 black cards. So we have that going for us. So I'm going to take the Dissenter. Okay, do we want to build around cycling? We already have one Pitiless Vizier. We can certainly think about it. Our other option is getting Blighted Bat or Supernatural Stamina, which are both fine, but I think I'm going to take Faith of the Devoted and see what happens here. Okay, now I probably take a Bat over Spidery Grasp or Sixth Sense, so Bat it is. There's a Nest of Scarabs that came all the way back around. There's also a Dissenter's Deliverance with cycling. I think I'm going to take the Nest and see if things work out for us in -1/-1 counters. So far we have nothing with cycling to go with our Faith of the Devoted and our Pitiless Vizier, but we can pick it up. In my experience, it's not usually that hard to pick up like the mediocre cards that have cycling, which suddenly become solid playables in a deck where you have a payoff like Faith of the Devoted. Okay. So green does not seem super open, it's worth noting. So we made up somewhere completely different. We already have 2 zombies, so Time to Reflect isn't terrible to think about. Neither's Cartouche of Zeal. I think I'll take Time to Reflect, though. See what happens there. Okay, well, cycling and cycling. I think we take Unburden because we know we're playing black. Our other colors are not so clear, so Unburden it is. Okay, well, this is a decent green card that made it all the way around, so don't hate that. I guess I'll take Sacred Excavation. And this is another decent-ish green card with cycling. So, by the way, I'm sure I've said it on other videos, it's usually worth playing these cycling lands even if they're only in one of your colors, just because cycling is so good, because if you're flooding out, you can just throw this away, and in the early game it can just make you mana, so those are all good things. Yeah, this pack, not great for our purposes. Prepare to Fight's pretty good, but I don't see us playing white being super likely. I mean, we do have one Time to Reflect, so maybe. Kenra Charioteer is good. Vizier of Tumbling Sands is solid. Has cycling. We could think about taking it. And end up not playing green, perhaps. Because it is a pretty good card. Maybe the best one in this pack. Other than, well, actually these two are definitely better, but we don't really seem capable of playing them. We could try to splash Kenra Charioteer, I guess. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. I mean, we already have one land that produces red. Pick up an Evolving Wilds and I'll feel like I'm there. Yeah, okay, let's take the Charioteer. Dusk to Dawn is pretty good. Lake Claim is a nice card with cycling because it's good at basically every stage of the game. Floodwaters is also nice. There's a Trial of Strength, which isn't bad. Gift of Paradise, which can splash for us. Winged Shepherd is a super good card with cycling. It's worth noting. Lake Claim, probably the most powerful card in this pack. And Dusk to Dawn is probably not quite as powerful, at least for me, it doesn't seem to be. Discard synergies also count, by the way, for our Faith of the Devoted. But I guess I'm just going to take Trial of Strength. It's nothing exciting, but it is another decent green card. And if you pick up some cartouches, it's obvious. Oh, okay. Well, Drakehaven and Faith of the Devoted. Yeah, I think I have to do that. I think I have to do it. I do think I have to do it. Okay, so I think we probably are losing green now. And going after blue-black cycling really, really hard, which means Floodwaters is a good pick here. So is Unburden, but I think I'm going to take a Floodwaters here over it. Okay, we have an Evolving Wilds here that can help us splash. Should we decide we want to. There's also a Stinging Shot, though, which I think is perfectly main boardable, and it has cycling, so that is appealing, except that we're not really in black anymore. I mean, in green. So I think I'd take Horror of the Broken Lands, which has cycling and is a cycling payoff itself. Okay. Trial of Knowledge is pretty good because it's not only going to draw us cards, it also discards a card which triggers our cycling things that have cycling triggers. Wasteland Scorpion's fine, and Top Crop Skirmisher is 2, but I feel like Trial of Knowledge is probably just better, so I'm going to go ahead and take it. Okay, well, New Perspectives draws us a bunch of cards and has a bit of a cycling payoff, so I think I'm perfectly happy taking it. Nest of Scarabs. Not going to be the build around we play here, I don't think. We do get a Soul Stinger here. Probably take Seeker of Insight, though. It gives us some discard synergy. Soul Stinger's solid, and so is Top Crop Skirmisher, but we already have Drakehaven and Faith of the Devoted, and Horror of the Broken Lands and Pitiless Vizier, so I'm going to take the Seeker here. This card is definitely an interesting one. Making my cycling cost 0 is pretty awesome, but a lot of the times it's just going to be a 6-mana draw 3, which isn't exactly good. Okay, I'm going to take another Floodwaters, thanks to the fact that it has cycling, and in the late game it can actually do something nice. And now I'll take another Seeker of Insight. Okay, we have an option here. It's like Scarab Feast, which is fine. You know, you can even mainboard it if you have enough cycling. But I'd probably take Winds of Rebuke. It's just a decent spell that lets me interact with my opponent. Now we'll take Scarab Feast. Yeah, Kenra Charioteer Black-Red seems open, but as soon as we saw, I mean green-red, as soon as we saw both Faith of the Devoted and Drakehaven, it's hard to say no to that. I think I drafted a Drakehaven deck a couple weeks ago, but I didn't have nearly as many cycling payoffs. So, yeah. We just need to pick up more of the cycling. I'll take another Initiate's Companion. Because in terms of cycling right now, we have 1, 2, well, 3, 4 to some extent. They're not quite 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so this last pack, we just want all the cycling in the world, basically. Archfiend of Ifnir would be nice. That would be crazy. Basically all of the good, really, really good payoffs for cycling in one draft. Okay, no, there's another Bounty of the Luxo. We could have 2 of those bad boys. There's a Shimmer Scale Drake here, but there's also a final reward. And we do need removal. So I think I'm going to take the reward and hope we will see more cycling. It may not be as good as Shimmer Scale Drake, but we need removal. And so I'll take final reward. Wouldn't hate not mainboarding Scarab Feast, but at this point, I don't hate the idea of doing so. Okay, we got another Shimmer Scale Drake. I think that's just what we take here. Unburden's okay, but Shimmer Scale Drake's better because it's, you know, actually a relevant creature in addition to having cycling. Okay. This is a pretty sweet card if you're playing red and green, but we're not. Decimator Beetle, huh? So I don't really like Compelling Argument. I think I'm just going to take another removal spell here and Illusory Wrappings. It's not an exciting one, but removal is removal. So 1, 2, 3, since it can trigger stuff. 4, 5, 6, 7. Basically. Okay, Zombie Lord. Hello. Probably just Bone Picker here. We don't have any cycling here. Well, we do have Shadowstorm Vizier, which I guess is another cycling payoff. But man, I think Bone Picker is better even if you have a bunch of cycling than Shadowstorm Vizier is, so I'm just going to take it. Okay, well, I don't hate another Floodwaters. The question is, would I rather have a third one of those or a second Unburden? I think maybe a second Unburden. It's good that we have several non-creature spells. Of course, we're going to be cycling a lot of them, but that's good for our Seeker of Insight because it will more frequently make it capable of triggering our Drakehaven or our Faith of the Devoted. Okay, there's a Shadowstorm Vizier, but again, I think I'm going to go towards a card with cycling here and take River Serpent. Okay, another Illusory Wrappings, I guess. He's a Pollen, but we'll take another Illusory Wrappings. Yeah, just give me some mediocre cycling cards to finish this draft out, and I'll feel like I've gotten there. But you're not giving it to me. Naga Oracle's fine. Supernatural Stamina is a good trick. I'm not really sure we have enough creatures for it, though. I guess I'll take Naga Oracle. You have cycling, but not the kind I'm interested in. I'll take a Minglehorn. Okay, I will take a third Unburden. Cycling has just become good enough in our deck that playing 3 Unburdens is actually worth it. I'll take the Brawler. I don't really like Bantu's Monument. Okay, well now I think we probably take the Vizier over Scarab Feast. Yeah, maybe we'll wheel both of those Viziers. That'd be something. Oh, we did it. Nice. Yeah, our deck was pretty open, obviously, since we got Faith of the Devoted so late in the Drake Haven, like pick 3. So I feel pretty good about this cycling deck. It's actually in colors that are more cycling-y. A couple weeks ago I had the blue-green Drake Haven deck, but I think we got a little closer to actually getting there in this pack, this draft, I mean. Like, you know, I went 2-1 with that deck, but this deck seems like it's going to have a lot more synergy going for it. Do have some trimming to do, of course. So everything with cycling, come over here. All 3 of these Unburdens. Cycling or discard, I should say. So that's a cycling payoff. That's right. And then a couple Floodwaters and a River Serpent. So it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I think we got there. We just have to decide what to trim, and it's probably not any of these. Probably not anything that gives me a payoff for cycling either. So, oh, you also have cycling. I missed you. So, what do we cut here? Naga Oracle is not ultra exciting, so I think that's out of here. We do already have 1 land down here, so we can probably get away with 16 lands with the amount of cycling we have too, so we probably only have to cut 2 more cards. New Perspectives is pretty good, but like Trial of Knowledge is just going to be better. We're not going to have 7 cards in our hand very often. It's limited, so I don't think it's going to really be worth it. So I think I cut it as well. And we can probably cut 1 card with cycling because we got so many. Starting here, they're all cycling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we have plenty of cards with cycling, and we may want to keep 12, but maybe I just cut Doomed Dissenter as we just have better 2-drops. I don't, you know, for our deck especially, I don't hate the idea of like Seeker of Insight into Plague Belcher. It will still be alive after that, so that's pretty nice. We ended up with 1 other zombie in the end, so we're not really going to be reaping the benefits of this zombie part. Scarab Feast has 1 black cycling, which is pretty cheap and nice. But it's the card of all of the cards with cycling in our deck that's going to do the least when we actually want to cast it. So, and I don't want to lose, you know, the little bit of interaction we do have with like Winds of Rebuke and stuff. Think about cutting illusory wrappings, but it's just going to be better to cut a Scarab Feast, I think. Yeah. Yep. So this will be our deck. Blue-black cycling. This is crazy that these came all the way around. I mean, they probably are the weakest gold card in this, the Signpost uncommon in this set. But still, you know, that was a really good indicator of how open our deck was. All right. So basic lands. 9-8 does seem pretty reasonable. Oh, actually, I forgot. I only really want to play 16 lands since we have cycling everywhere. Oh, and I also didn't bring in my Canyon Slough, so cut a swamp for that. Cut another swamp, and then do I play Doom Dissenter or Scarab Feast? Probably Doom Dissenter. Yeah. It's easier to play 16 lands in this format if you have cycling, because that can help you find your way out of it. Our curve can get kind of high. You know, in the late game, these might be hard to actually cast, but we can cycle them. I guess we do have the need for mana sink because Faith of the Devoted and Drakehaven do both ask us to pay mana. So maybe, yeah, let's just run 17. I'll feel a little better if we are. So until I flood out, and then I won't be so happy. Yeah. All right. Yeah, well, this is our deck. I will see you guys in the first match. Hello, everyone. This is the first match of an Amonkhet draft, and the first game in it. Somehow I didn't manage to record the first game in it, but luckily Magic Online actually records all the games, so we can go back and talk through the game. The other games in this match are actually recorded properly, unlike this one, but we can get through this fairly quickly actually with the way this works, so it won't take up too much time. So I decided to play first, and I thought my hand was pretty reasonable because I have 2 lands and cycling in my hand, meaning I can find more lands if I don't manage to hit any of them. So I played an island. My opponent plays a mountain. And so here I had the decision of whether I wanted to cycle, what I wanted to cycle basically. I have 4 cards with cycling in my hand, 5 actually. My opponent cycles a Desert Cerodon. And I'm going to cycle something at the end of my opponent's turn, because I haven't hit the 3rd land yet, and I might as well go for it. So I cycle one of my 2 Unburdens, draw a land for a 3rd land, and again, probably going to cycle something here. My opponent is playing their Ordinary Kudu as a 2/3. Didn't have anywhere else to put the counter. So now I cycle River Serpent, and I hit Drakehaven, which is pretty great, right? So we play Drakehaven, we have a hand filled with cycling, and so we're in pretty good shape. My opponent now plays a Quarry Hauler, which will make their Ordinary Kudu into a 3/4, which is not good for us. Suddenly we're looking down 7 damage. Drakes can only chump block at this point. And then I draw Faith of the Devoted, so I draw both of the cards that will help me with cycling. But I feel like I decided to put Illusory Wrappings on Quarry Hauler, just so I could take a little less damage. I think that may have been a mistake. It was probably going to be better to cycle something and make a Drake there. I would have dug deeper in my library, but opponent plays a Colossopede. Attacks us for 3. And now we play another Illusory Wrappings on Colossopede. So we're just trying to stay alive here because our opponent is not going to make it easy for us because they keep playing spells and we're stuck on 3 lands. And frustratingly, we have both of our big cycling payoffs. So opponent hits us down to 11. We still don't draw another land. But now I cycle my Horror of the Broken Lands. My hope is that I'll hit another land so that I can then cycle something else and make another Drake. Well, yeah, assuming it was a 1-mana cycler anyway. So the opponent now attacks with Colossopede and their Kudu. And I decide to chump block the Colossopede, and I take 3 to the face. Opponent now plays another Colossopede, because you can never have too many of those. We draw our 4th land finally, but we're just dead. We can't really catch back up in any way, because our opponent's board is so huge, and we just couldn't draw 4th land, and we did it way too late. So that's the first game in this match. As I said, the next 2, which will be right after this, were actually properly recorded, so now you can watch them. Okay, well, I think I failed to actually record the first game of this match. Luckily, Magic Online saves videos of it, so hopefully you're seeing this second game in this match after seeing a recording of the first one. So, this is the second game. And we lost the first one, though, so I'll inform you of that. We'll play first. This hand is reasonable. Probably just cycling away that River Serpent right away, basically. Yeah, we'll just cycle it. We already have more lands in our hand than we got in the last game. One of them has cycling too. So what we want to do is dig for one of our cycling payoffs, basically, which cycling helps you do. So it works out pretty well. I'm going to cycle this Floodwaters now. Right, another Unburdened to cycle at least. Wouldn't hate hitting an earlier creature either, obviously, as our opponent was played some pretty scary stuff on turns 4 and like 5, and we were just in trouble. Okay, well, there's an earlier creature that I asked for. I'm gonna play this land, and then I'm gonna end my turn. This way I can sort of trick him into thinking maybe I have some a counter magic or a removal or something, but if that's all he's doing, I will cycle and unburden. Okay, Faith of the Devoted. That's the kind of thing we're looking for here. So we'll play it. Is Bone Picker better to play? I don't think so at this point. Play Faith of the Devoted. Opponent may have sided in some enchantment hate, so since we played 2 Illusory Wrappings and a Drake Haven in that last game. Ooh, that's a problem. Opponent's going to cheat something very scary into play. So here I think we just have to play a blocker so we can at least kill the champion in combat. He'll still get to cheat into play what he wants to, but probably a Colossopede or something gross like that. But we have a Bone Picker who can just block that, luckily. All right. Greater Sandworm, even worse. So I at least hope my opponent doesn't have a trick here, and I at least get to kill this thing. That is good news. That's less good news. Okay. Okay. So I think I just played both Seeker of Insight and Bone Picker here. And yeah, we'll play Bone Picker. And I guess I'm gonna attack. Yeah. I will attack. Still have 2 cards with cycling in our hand to get some value out of Faith of the Devoted, so that's good. If we ever play a non-creature spell, we have another trigger for Faith of the Devoted, so also good. So I will take Colossopede to my face and block the big guy. Our opponent has a ferocious top of their curve. Like, if we were an aggro deck, we could have gone under them, but our deck is also just like a dirtily little silly deck. And so it gets a little bit harder. Okay, so I might actually cast Unburden, so I'm going to cycle Canyon Slough. Pay 1 mana. Okay, well that actually worked out pretty well. We can put Illusory Wrappings here. We can play another land. We can draw another card and discard a card. You know, Unburden could have been nice there, but I think we probably just want a big creature a little bit more. So I'm going to discard Unburden. Pay another 1 mana. And then attack my opponent in the air down to 10. This leaves us open to Colossopede, but that's okay. We pulled way ahead in the race there, thanks to all of the Faith of the Devoted that we did. And we still have another Cycler in our hand, incidentally, so don't play anything too scary. Good, just another Colossopede. I feel like I can outrace that. More so than some other scary things in this world. So we'll take 5. Okay, Plague Belcher. I think I'm just going to play him as a 5/4 and put counters on this thing, but I'm going to cycle Horror of the Broken Lands first. And see what we draw. We drew another land. So I will play Plague Belcher. Put the counters here. And drop our opponent to 5 in the air. I'm probably just going to end up trading my Belcher for one of the Colossopedes. Hold on to this land, make it seem like we can do something. So all we have to do is draw another card with Cycling, which you still have several of, or a non-creature spell, and our opponent's dead on our turn. Assuming they don't kill Shimmer, Scale Drake, or block it, or otherwise block it. So I'm just going to trade with one of those. Yeah, it doesn't say another zombie, so we're not going to get in for any damage, unfortunately. So the chances we draw either a card with Cycling or a card with that's a non-creature spell are pretty good. Oh, it's gonna kill my Seeker of Insight though, so now we can't win quite as many ways, basically. Yeah, bye-bye Seeker. Now it has to be a card with Cycling. Okay, it's not, but it does give me another blocker. So I'm going to attack in the air here. He can only swing back at me for 9, so I think we get in there in the air. And then we play the Vizier, which we'll probably just use to block. So we just need to stay alive. Yeah, that is 9 damage. So I think I'm going to block the 5/5 here. Do you have a removal spell or a flyer? No. Could still have Stinging Shot in his hand. We drew a land, so we're going to have to hope he does not have Stinging Shot in his hand. Otherwise, we just lose here. So looks like we got there. All right. Second game went much more in our favor. You know, we drew more than 3 lands. That was that was pretty important. Yeah. Don't really have a good sideboard or anything. Well, we cited in the Doom Dissenter, who's solid against him, but that's it. Naga Oracle's kind of worth looking at, but his creatures are all so big that even the Naga Oracle's not even a great blocker. So, yeah, it's I think we're fine the way we are. Okay, ooh, this is a real good hand. An early Drakehaven, enough mana to get there. So on turn 2, I can play Seeker of Insight. And then I can wait a turn to play the Drakehaven if I want to. And then the next turn, play Drakehaven and cycle. Well, not cycle, but draw a card and discard a card. Loot. And then I get to make a Drake right away. Right away. Ooh, gross. That is not ideal. Certainly. I think I'm actually going to play the Vizier first. I'll play the Seeker next turn, and then Drakehaven, make a Drake. So, which will also pump my Shadowstorm Vizier. So, I'm down with it. But the opponent having ramp is not great. We know they have all these Colossopeds and stuff. Floodwaters will be nice to actually cast against them at some point, but we're not very close to actually doing that. Okay, Ornery Kudu. I wouldn't mind Illusory Wrappings right now to just kill this thing. That is what I would do if I drew it, rather than playing Seeker of Insight. Ooh, we did it. So I think that's probably just what we do, unfortunately. And I will get in for 1 in the air, because I'm not blocking Ornery Kudu. I said that's what we do, unfortunately. It's fortunate, too. It's just not like what our game plan was, really. So... Okay, well, they probably have a hand filled with Colossopeds, so that is a little less than ideal. Drakehaven or Seeker of Insight here? That is the question. Or Pitiless Vizier, even. I think we want to get the Haven out there. We got to start generating value out of our discarding and drawing, discarding and cycling. So, I'm going to attack again because I don't really plan on blocking an Ornery Kudu. Right now, we would have to give up Floodwaters, which is actually really good against our opponent. So, if I wanted to cycle. So, I kind of hope I draw a different card with cycling, because I may want to actually cast Floodwaters. Yeah, if our opponent had Stinging Shot, you'd think they would have sighted it in, but we haven't seen it in games 2 and 3. Because it's pretty good against us. We have a lot of flyers who become dead or 0/1s because of it. We'll take 3 to the face. Here comes a Colossopede, almost definitely. Yeah, I wonder how many Colossopeds our opponent drafted. Seems like a lot. Yeah, so Floodwaters seems so good that I think I'm just going to get rid of the Shimmer Scale Drake instead. Of course, I could do it at instant speed and then block Ornery Kudu. So, I think I'm just going to play Seeker of Insight here. And then pass. Yeah, that's what I'll do. You can actually triple block the Colossopede, which isn't the worst. Our opponent surprisingly hasn't had tricks that we've seen. You'd think a deck with this many Colossopedes would be rockin' brute strength. But what I really want to do is cycle, make a Drake, draw a land for Floodwaters, and get myself some breathing room. That's my main goal here. Because if I can cast Floodwaters and bounce a couple Colossopeds, I can suddenly sort of relax, get close to it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to block the Kudu here. And then I'm going to cycle Shimmer Scale Drake so my Shadow Storm Vizier gets too big for the Kudu to kill. That's the plan. Okay, so I'm going to cycle Shimmer Scale Drake. Okay, we drew the land. There's a trick. Well, we knew they probably had them. We only take 2 at least, but we take 5 as well from Colossopede. But we're going to be casting Floodwaters, that's for sure. Ouch. Okay, so that, is they going to hit us with that? No, my Drake. Okay. Bye-bye, Drake. Okay. That also seems pretty good right now. Do I want to loot right now? I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm actually just going to attack. It's usually right to loot, but now we make our opponent have to recast everything. Can't do it all in the same turn either, so we'll be able to go Windsor Rebuke and loot in a turn, which is pretty nice. Now maybe we want to play Pitiless Vizier. I don't know. Do we have enough mana to 3, 6, 7? Yeah, we have enough mana to play Windsor Rebuke, loot, and make a Drake, and make this Pitiless Vizier indestructible. So, yeah. That is pretty good, I would say. Would like to gain some life. Our life gain cycling payoff would be pretty nice because our opponent has gotten us quite low. Oh, except if I cast Winds of Rebuke, there's no need for me to block Desert Ceradon. I can bounce a different creature if my opponent plays one first, like that. That's probably what I'll do then. Probably that Colossopede. Okay, opponent doesn't want to bring the Thunder, and we're okay with that. We can do stuff either way. We're going to bounce the 6-drop. Then we're going to loot, which does mean we just pitch this card, but it also means that we get to make a Drake. Okay, we drew a land. I'm going to attack for 2 in the air. Too bad we didn't draw a land and then draw Unburden, huh? That would have been much more attractive. Colossopede, or not Colossopede, Desert Ceradon is most likely coming back. Wouldn't mind drawing our other Floodwaters. Okay, Kudu is back. He'll be a 3/4. Okay. I think I'm actually gonna block with this Seeker of Insight, unfortunately. You know, he still has Desert Cerodon in his hand too, which at least Pitiless Vizier can block. Don't give me a land. You didn't, and I appreciate that. Thanks for listening. So we'll play Bone Picker here. And I think I can get away with attacking with this Drake again. So we can kill both the Cerodon and the Colossopede in combat. And that's pretty good. I mean, I meant this, yeah. Yeah, the Cerodon. I can try to kill all three of them. I gotta doubt my opponent's gonna let that happen, but we'll block like this. If he has a trick, we're in some trouble. Okay, not a land. Okay. Looks like we have bricked on these draws and are probably falling behind now. The nice thing is, if we hit a card with cycling, we can try to pull back ahead. Because we can make so many Drakes. Like, if we just go cycling, 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 cycling. But that's kind of what we have to hope for here. So if I block that, I still take 1 damage. I think we're dead unless we can chain a bunch of cyclers together, so I'm going to hang on to my Drake. Did not do it. All right. Well, game 2 things went our way, but game 1 we got screwed, mana screwed, and in game 3, that Doom Dissenter wouldn't have been bad, except for now all his guys have trample. But you know, you can't win them all. I'll see you guys in the next match. I will go first. Seems like a solid hand. We've got a Faith of the Devoted. We don't have, well, we do have black mana. Yeah, we'll just have to play it tapped and not get to cycle it. But that's okay. We have enough cards with cycling. And this way we can play Shadowstorm Vizier on turn 2, so not too shabby. Shadowstorm Vizier into Faith of the Devoted. I'm hoping we have the time to do that. Opponent playing Dread Wanderers. Not awesome, but at least Shadowstorm Vizier just laughs at it in terms of blocking. So, in fact, we have 4 2-drops, I guess, who sort of just laugh at 1/3s. If he attacked with it, I would probably just take it, though. Yeah, I think that would be my plan. Wish I had like a magma spray, because these things can get very, very annoying. He's going to attack. I'm just going to take it. I'm down to take it. Do you have a 2-drop too? I would prefer you not curve out so that our dirtily little cycling deck can do what it needs to do. Okay, Miasmic Mummy. Why don't we already have Faith of the Devoted in play? What's that about? That's what's funny with cards like that, is my opponent can help me fuel them sometimes. I'm so scared to give up a 3rd land thanks to how bad our land drawing has been, but I think that's what we do. Ooh, opponent playing 6th Sense. That's kind of interesting given that they're blue-black right now. Okay, so we have the option also of just leaving up mana to cycle something and make my Vizier just eat one of these guys, but I think I'm going to play Faith of the Devoted instead. We can start cycling next turn and getting the trigger for my Vizier and for Faith of the Devoted, and that's pretty awesome. We have 2 cards already that'll let us do that. We're just going to take the 4. What if our opponent got the Zombie Lord in a blue-black deck? Feels like we're an Innistrad block. Yeah, it's kind of looking that way. Kind of looking that way. 4th land, I don't hate that. And we're just going to end our turn. We're going to cycle Unburden, I think. Yeah, they can make another. They can make a zombie. Okay. Slither Blade, sure, sure. I'm probably going to block this mummy because I think I actually have a better chance of actually killing it. Well, permanently killing it. Okay. So, he may have something like Unnatural, the 1 mana thing that gives him +2/+0 and makes it so he does have Supernatural Stamina, which will kill this unless... No, it's probably not worth it. Oh, no, yeah, okay. Let's just cast Winds of Rebuke. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We lost Pitiless Vizier and Trial of Knowledge. Our opponent's card no longer has a target. And if they want to replay the guy... Oh, I guess they can't this turn anyway. So if I draw another... Should I just unburden my opponent of both the cards in their hand? Do I have the time for that? I kind of feel like I do. Kind of feel like I do. I don't think I'm going to, though. No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to end the turn. I wonder if he has another Supernatural Stamina. Nope. He's just going to attack with him. Fine by me. Floodwaters does not seem awesome here, so I think I'm actually going to cycle it over Unburden. Mostly because, yeah, I mean, it can bounce 2 things, but my opponent's creatures are all so cheap that I don't think it really matters. I mean, it matters a little, but not as much as it should. Okay. Well, there's some removal. Play this land. And I think I just end my turn. Probably just going to cycle Unburden. Okay, we'll take the 1. Final Reward can actually permanently kill Dread Wanderer, so that's nice. But we're just going to cycle. Pay 1. Okay, another Shadowstone Vizier isn't something I hate. Okay, we could just start attacking in the air, basically. Try and get ahead in this race. Yeah, I guess I'll play him. I probably should have played him and just attacked with him, actually, but what are you going to do? There's some green mana, so our opponent's green splash. I'm sure they're playing something other than Sixth Sense. Could be splat. No, they're not splashing black, given what they have in play. Angler Drake. That's not cool. Gonna have to kill that with Final Reward. Yeah, what do you bounce? Probably the Vizier. I guess then you can attack with your dudes. Yeah. Yep. Dude bounced. Okay, that is 4 damage. I'm just gonna take it. Okay, now that we drew a card with cycling, I'd probably just play Shadowstorm Vizier, Psych, and double block Angler Drake. Nah, it's probably not worth it. Probably not worth it. I'm just going to end my turn, though. He still takes down one of my Viziers. Of course, I'll be draining him life, too. Yeah, maybe it's worth it. It's probably worth it. We know he still has that mummy in his hand, by the way. He just doesn't want to make me discard anything because we'll get so much benefit out of it right now. I hope this is not another Angler Drake. Please, Lord. Okay, it's just a Champion of Ronas. That's all. That's a good card to splash green for. 6 cents, less so. But Champion of Ronas, I think a good call. Just Slitherblade, huh? It is tempting to just play the Shimmer Scale Drake, but I don't think I want to. Okay, Illusory Wrappings is nice. So it was Horror of the Broken Lands. Unfortunately, though, I think I just have to kill this Champion of Ronas, so that is what we'll do. We still have 1 mana up, so we can cycle. We're not going to get the additional trigger out of it. The draining our opponent's life trigger. But that's okay. All right. That's going to give them some late game value that I'm not looking forward to. They can draw 2 cards with it next turn. So, a little less than ideal for us. But at least it's something that's not going to develop their board a whole lot. That's, I guess, another way to look at it. Yeah, because the other half is draw 2 cards. He has McMummy. Okay. I'll do it. I'll discard this Illusory Wrappings. Don't think I won't do it. I did it. All right. Okay. You block pretty well the dudes on the ground, don't you? Trying to just drain our opponent out with Faith of the Devoted, basically. Eventually, we'll be able to attack with all our flyers for lethal, too. Eventually. Just cast Spring. I mean, Mind. Yeah, that's what I thought they'd be doing. That is what they did. Slitherblade continues his onslaught. Do I actually want to cast River Serpent? No, I don't think so. Although I could hold on to it to do more damage in the air, but no. Okay. I'm going to hold on to the land that I have in my hand because it will allow me to, if I draw a non-creature spell, loot and not lose anything important. So I'm just going to play this Bone Picker. What we need, yeah, I mean, in the near future, we'll be able to hit our opponent for enough damage in the air that will be okay. They did just draw a bunch of extra cards, by the way, but hopefully none of them are useful. Don't be another Angler Drake. Please don't be another Angler Drake. Liliana's Mastery. That's less than ideal. Oh God. That is very bad. Very, very bad. That explains why he wanted to get that mummy out there. If I draw a card with cycling or a non-creature spell, I can kill my opponent. So let's hope we do one of those things. Why are we doing this again, deck? Come on. Can't. I think I might just be dead now. If I attack with everything, my opponent blocks this 3 and takes 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I needed to draw a card with cycling or a non-creature spell because it would have, between Faith of the Devoted and Seeker of Insight, pumping these two, made it enough damage to kill my opponent. But that is no longer the case. Because we didn't draw what we needed to there. So we may just be dead. We may just be dead. Yeah. I'm hoping our opponent plays conservatively again. Maybe me holding 2 lands in my hand makes him more concerned I can cycle something. Cartouche of Strength, okay, not good. So he's going to kill probably a Vizier and put a -1/-1 counter on Blighted Bat. Oh no, he's going to do that. It's still going to put a -1/-1 counter. That makes more sense anyway, so. Goodbye, Blighted Bat. Okay. So we're going to have to block basically everything to not die, which means it's going to be very difficult for us to win on our next turn. Okay. So, block an Angler Drake. And we take 7. Do we have any hope of winning? I don't think we really do. That Liliana's Mastery made our opponent, you know, we were sort of at parity, and then it really shifted things in our opponent's favor. We have no board. Wow, our opponent has shows. Wow, yeah, and the third land. 2. Not ideal there. 2 games in a row where we stopped drawing well in the late game. Maybe I need something like New Perspectives. Or Sacred Excavation to get back some of my guys' cards with cycling because I have so many triggers. Probably not, though. I mean, no. This deck definitely seems good, but it hasn't been panning out for us so far. Okay, I think this is a keep. It's a little bit of a dangerous one. We do need to draw like a 3rd land and even a 4th land, but I think it's solid. I think it's solid. Turn 1 Dread Wanderer again is pretty obnoxious. Okay. We need black mana, but if we just draw more blue, we can at least cast Trial of Knowledge. We will just take 2. Okay, Mr. Mummy. Thinking of discarding Blighted Bat. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna end my turn. Our mana base has not been very kind to us. But that does happen. Right, well, I think we should just make him use Supernatural Stamina. Only thing is, if we draw black now, we're going to wish we could have played our Plague Belcher as a much larger creature, but, you know, it's whatever. Okay, I'm going to cycle this. Another Seeker of Insight, but that doesn't do us a whole lot of good right this second. Saltiness. The saltiness I feel. Yeah, that was a good thing to sideboard in against us for sure. We're going to take 4. Okay. That makes things a little bit better. Just a little bit, though. Because we just have so much we want to be able to do in one turn. I'm going to play the Vizier. It can block. So can the Seeker of Insight, but it has a potential to do more than that. I'll probably just hard cast Seeker of the Broken Lands if I get there. Horror of the Broken Lands. I'm mixing up my cards there. Wasteland Scorpion. Okay. All right. I'm gonna block the Dread Wanderer. Unless it's not attacking, which I'm okay with. I'll probably block the Mummy in that case. Nope. Okay, so I think I play Seeker of Insight now and hold up Unburden as something I can cycle to help me kill my opponent's creatures. That Wasteland Scorpion is definitely a problem, though. Okay, well, I'm going to declare a block here, and I'm going to declare a block here. And I'm going to cycle Unburden. Not bad, not a bad draw. So I can play the Plague Belcher and put the counters on Seeker of Insight next turn, which seems pretty solid. And then just block with... Seeker of Insight won't be able to kill that, though. Okay. Do I just play the Horror of the Broken Lands? Probably. I could think about using Trial of Knowledge first. But I kind of feel like I'll play that once I run out of things to do. We are at 6 life, my friends. Yeah, we're going to play the Belcher. I'm going to put the counters here. I may try to block and kill the Wasteland Scorpion by cycling Horror of the Broken Lands. That doesn't seem too bad. Ouch. Okay. Do I want to cycle the Horror first so that I can at least make this a 2/4 no matter what my opponent takes from me? I think I do. I think that I do. Good. And we hit a land, so that works out pretty well. Probably takes away my final reward, though. We'll see. It is a hard choice, but yeah, I think final reward's the better choice. I am in agreement with you, opponent. We now have a 3/5 Shadowstorm Vizier, incidentally. Okay. Yeah, we'll play Trial of Knowledge. Okay, card recycling seems like what we want to keep. We're going to go ahead and loot as well. Okay, illusory wrappings. And I'm going to play this island. And then I'm going to end my turn. We're too low of life to get all crazy aggressive here. This illusory wrappings is going to be nice. Making Wasteland Scorpion have no power means that Death Touch doesn't matter. So that is probably the plan with our illusory wrappings. What we don't want to see is that Liliana card again, which destroyed us. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cycle this. And we hit Unburden. So, do I play the wrappings or Pitiless Vizier? I think I want to play the Vizier more. He can also just bounce off of Wasteland Scorpion thanks to being indestructible. But yeah, we're definitely putting ourselves in not in an ideal place. Because the longer the game goes, the sooner our opponent can draw their Liliana's Mastery. We do have our own, you know, bomby cycling cards that can help us win a game, but we haven't seen them yet, so. Angler Drake, okay. That's obnoxious. Plague Belcher is probably the thing to bounce, yeah. That does make sense. I'm going to cycle Unburden before I figure out what I want to do with this turn. Probably just going to cast Shimmer Scale. No, probably not actually. Probably going to play Illusory Wrappings and then Plague Belcher again. Oh no, we don't have the mana for that. We do not have the mana for that. I'm just going to cast Shimmer Scale Drake. And end my turn there. Both of our big cycling payoffs are still in our deck. Obviously, we still have payoffs, but the best ones are still in our deck. Okay, so I'm going to double block Angler Drake. Well, or maybe I'm not. I'm not, because my opponent decided not to attack. Okay, now I'm going to play Illusory Wrappings. I think I'm going to put it on the Drake. Yeah, instead of the Scorpion. Then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do that. Do I attack with my indestructible creature? I think I do. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you can just get him back. And now we're just going to kill our Seeker. And we'll end our turn. He comes back. So if he attacks with his Death Touch creature, which he didn't, I was going to say I might just block it. Okay, Slitherblade's actually kind of scary right now because we're at such low life. So, ooh, Drakehaven's good, but we don't right now have a way of doing anything with it, so it's a little less good. I'm gonna attack with my Shimmer Scale Drake. All right, we're gonna hold on to this land. Yeah, it's not looking great for us though. We do have ways of shutting down Slitherblade, but mostly I think we just have to race Slitherblade, but that's gonna be hard. All right, we go to 5. If we can gain life, we'll be fine. And we do have a way to do that, but... Okay, Bone Picker. Okay, so I'm going to attack again with Shimmer Scale. And I'm also going to play Bone Picker. And my turn. Right. That doesn't scare me, luckily. $11 cards left in our library. How many of them have cycling? We've played 1, 2, 3. We've only played 5 of our cards with cycling. We should really be drawing one soon. Very soon, even. We'll probably end up drawing our Faith's Reward before we draw it. Feeling like one of those kinds of games. All right, then. We're going to attack with both our flyers in the air. Redundant. So our opponent can swing at us. This is unblockable, but we can block. Can we block enough stuff? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, we have 3 blockers. It's dangerous, but I think if we have any hope in winning this game, we're going to have to race our opponent like this. Okay. Opponent drops to 8. So I've been pretty lucky in most of my Aether Hub drafts so far this year. I think I was 8-1 coming into this one, so it was about time things sort of evened out. I had some pretty silly luck. So, you know, we can still pull our way out of this if we can just draw a card with cycling, for example. That would go a long way. But there's no guarantee that that happens. We definitely go pretty low here if he did the Alpha Strike. Okay. I am going to block, use Pitiless Vizier to block the Scorpion. Drops us to 3. He also has a card with Reach, by the way. I kind of forgot he did, and I think he forgot too. Because I've been attacking through that all day. Makes it harder, a lot harder for us to race, now that I've realized that. It's kind of funny. Let's just go cycling card, cycling card, cycling card, cycling card. We can do it. Okay, cycling card number 1. I think it's better to play than a big creature on the ground right now, so that's what we'll do. Please give me another card with cycling. Ugh. I mean, I don't know what I'm expecting of the world, but something a little better, I suppose, is my answer. I'm going to attack with Shimmer Scale Drake. See if we can keep getting in with it, since Giant Spider has been not blocking at all. Okay, there it is. I guess Bone Picker would have been better to attack with, because at least it would have killed it, but... We are very, very close to dead if we're not dead. Okay. Okay. Not useless. I only have 7 cards left in my library. How many of them have cycling? That's my question. Oh, wait a second. If I use Winds of Rebuke right here, I can actually steal a win in the air. Oh, no, I can't. This will still be there. So we could still chump block it. Just chump block one of them to not die. Because I can attack for 9. He'll block the 3 and just take 6. So he can't quite win. He cannot quite do it. I guess I would also be attacking with that, but he could have double blocked it and then just killed me. Or gotten very close to killing me at least. Champion of Ronus. Sure. Oh god, Slitherblade, you're killing me, literally. I'm gonna go to 1. If he tries to use a trick or something, I can use Winds of Rebuke. Okay. Like, see if I can make another Drake right here, and then bounce Giant Spider. Okay. That is something I'm okay with. I'm gonna just put this on Slitherblade, which feels really bad, and feel okay about it. Now it can't kill us. And we can block all of our opponent's creatures, plus we have Winds of Rebuke, so that's good. We just need to go a little wider, make 1 more Drake, cast Winds of Rebuke on Giant Spider, and we are in business-ish. Well, good, you have another flyer now. I'm so happy to see that. Oh, I wasn't counting the cards with cycling I had in play when I counted cycling, but I feel like the 6 cards left in our deck, like, all have cycling, you know? That's just how it feels. We aren't even in game 3 yet, so if we go to game 3, one of us is timing out, so it's kind of funny. Okay. Okay, so we're going to cycle and burden. Okay, there's Faith of the Devoted, which we can't do anything with now. But it's going to go a pretty long way in helping us, I think. So I still have Winds of Rebuke. I bounce this. My opponent then can block 2 of my flyers. So they'll block a 3 and a 3 and just take 6. So still not worth attacking. Okay, thank God we have Winds of Rebuke. Get that nonsense out of here. Buys us 1 more turn. And if we don't draw a card with cycling anyway, it will. We just put ourselves down to 2 cards, and we cycled 1. 2 cards left in our library, that is, and we just milled another card with cycling. So I don't know if we can win now because our library is so small. Because we'll draw a card and then we'll cycle. Yeah, I don't think we can win. We're going to deck ourselves. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yeah, we lose. That was disappointing. Our deck, like, you know, kind of checked off all the boxes on what a blue-black cycling deck should be. We had not the most impressive luck, and maybe our deck was also a little bit too dirtily to, you know, really get there without, especially without drawing these two. And in this game, we drew both of them in like the last 12 cards of our library, so that was not great. So we go 0-2 today, but after going 8-1 so far in Aether Hub drafts, you know, kind of evens out. So thanks for watching. If you want to make sure you catch more of my drafts, subscribe here to the Aether Hub. You can also find, of course, a lot of great other Magic-related content here on this channel. I also post a draft every week over on my channel, NizzahonMagic, and you can check them out there. Thanks for watching.